Right. Now today we want to discuss agents of pollination. In the last class we discussed about the types of pollination based on the source of pollen grain. Now today's topic, agents of pollination. What is agent? Agent is a carrier. Now suppose, see, it is the anther. It is the stigma. This is one flower, this is another flower, different flowers. After the descent, the pollen grain is carried to surface. This carrying of pollen grain, some may be living or not. This living, non-living who are carrying pollen grains is nothing agents. Now the agents of pollination basically two types. Right. Non-living, living. Non-living agents is called as abiotic. As living agents is called as biotic. That means the agents of pollination mainly two types: biotic, abiotic, and biotic. Now come to the abiotic. Abiotic agents. Abiotic means without life, non-living. Right. That may be if the pollination takes place by wind and water. If the pollination, pollen grains carried by wind is called as anemophily. If the pollination through wind. If the pollination through water, hydrophily, by water. Among these two are, among this abiotic, right. Anemophilus is common. That means among these two, Anemophilus is more than Hydrophilus. Right. Now, biotic agents, entomophily, ornithophily, chiropterophily, malacophily. This is the four types of biotic agents. That means in these four types, living organisms are involved. But in anemophily, hydrophily, non-living organisms may be involved. Maybe not, maybe must. Now, entomophily, if the pollination by insects. Ornithophily, if the pollination by birds. Chiropterophily, if pollination by bats, mermaids, flying mermaids, bats. Malacophily, if it takes place by snails, mollusca. So this is all four types of biotic agents which are helps in pollination. We can, many types is there, but majorly two types, right? Non-living, living. Now come to the right characters of Anemophilus flower. Now, according to syllabus, we can discuss characters of Amorphous flower, Hydrophilous flowers, and Entomophilous flowers. Right. This is the three flowers. Sometimes ask 3 more questions in theory exams. Now, right. What it is? This two is belongs to which category? Amorphous, Hydrophilous belongs to which category? Abiotic. Amorphous abiotic, which is a common mode. Right. Anemophily. What is anemophily? If the pollination by wind is called as anemophily. If the pollination by water is called as hydrophily. Right. Now come to the characters. Now, just listen. Just listen. Characters of Amorphous flower. Now I am going to the discussion of a flower which shows wind pollination. I am not discussing the character of water. Water character is no need. Now it is occasion. We are discussing flower or water. Flower. Characters of Amorphous flower. And now, just in this occasion, I want to say something. Right. We are discussing the character of wind or character of flower. We are discussing character of flower. Which flower? The flower which shows wind pollination. That is the characters of Amorphous flower. Now, one by one. Right. First of all, it is a common type in abiotic agents. It is a cross pollination. It is a cross pollination. Not only wind. If any agent is involved, such pollination is a cross. Right. Hence, it is a cross pollination. The agents carry the pollen grain from anther to stigma. Right. Suppose, see, now, right. It is the one flower. It is another flower, it is a flower. Two different flowers, same species. If it is daisy, some pollen grain automatically deposited on stigma because these two are belongs to the same flower, hence this is the closely contact. But some of pollen grain is carried by wind to stigma of other flower. Hence, now in this process, some agents is involved. There is no need of agents because these both are anther, stigma, closely contact because it is within the flower. Hence, autogamy does not require any agents. If agents are involved in your pollination, it must be crossed. That may be geitonogamy or genogamy. Right now, see now we are discussing characters of Amorphous flower. It is a common type in abiotic. Right. It is a cross pollination. Right. Now third one, Java as blizzard. Third one. Right. Pollen grains. Pollen grains. Pollen grains, light in weight, and non-sticky. This is the most important character of Amorphous flower. Right. Now what is this pollen grain? If the pollen grains is light in weight, then the wind can easily carry. And another one is non-sticky. The surface of the pollen grain not containing any gummy-like structure. If it is having a gummy-like structure, sticky nature, right. Before reaching the stigma, maybe other maybe hold the pollen grains. Due to this pollen grains light in weight. Why? What is the need? Why it is light in weight? If the weight is light, it is easy to float in the wind, or it is helps in air current. Now, non-sticky or sticky? Non-sticky. Right. Now come to this. Right. Fourth one. Stamens are well exposed. See, it is a pedicel. It is thalamus. Sepal. It is petal. It is another petal. Right. Now, see. Now, it is a one flower. Now, it is another flower. Thalamus, sepal, petal. See. Petal. Now, it may be asked. See, in these two flowers, now pistil, it is a stamen. Here stamen is well exposed. That means it is completely outside or hanging. The length of stamen is more than the remaining floral parts. If it is well exposed, right, it is easy to transport by air. Now, this is one of the character of stamen, which belongs to Amorphous. Now, fifth one, stigma. Stigma is large and feathery. Now, stigma is a large style. This surface, if it is large, it is better to receiving the wind-borne pollens. Due to this, if the surface is less, right, it is somewhat difficult to collect the pollen grains which are carried by wind pollination. So, stigma surface is large and feathery-like structure, which helps in easy trapping of pollen. Now, see, right, this is the three important characters. Right, now come to the sixth one. Now, Amorphous flowers we can commonly see in grasses. Grass, all types of grasses, monocotyledons, generally shows the Amorphous. Once again, right, it is a common type in abiotic cross-pollination, pollen grain light in weight, and they are non-sticky. Sticky or non-sticky? Non-sticky. Stamens are well exposed. Stigma is a large and feathery for easy trapping of pollen grains. This type of Amorphous flowers we can see in grasses. Another important character, just one. Now, it is the pistil. It is pistil. Stigma style, what is this? Ovary. Inside the ovary, inside the ovary, containing single ovule. Oval. Contain single ovule. It is also one of the character. But still, why ovule containing single ovule? As it is unknown. Still. But it is the character to Amorphous flowers. Now, another most important, right? Now, tassels of corm. That is the maize, sweet maize, corn. When you remove some leaf or sepals on the corn, we can find out a brown thread-like structures. This brown thread-like structures is called as tassels. This tassels is a modified stigmoid style. It is now corm. Once upon it is a flower, right? Now this is what is this brown thread-like structures of corm is nothing. This is called as tassels. The name is tassels, but actually it is a modified stigmoid style. Right. Now with this, the character of Amorphous is over. Now come to the Hydrophilous flower. Right. Hydrophilous flowers. Now, right. Characters of Hydrophilous flower. In this occasion, once again I am remembering, right, it may be silly to you, but my responsibility I am saying. Here discussing characters of flower, but not water. Hydro, if the pollination by water, such flower is called as Hydrophilous flower. Now, once again, right, characters. Now, see, it is very rare pollination. In a biota, generally only 30 genera. These 30 genera mostly belongs to the monocotyledons. Right. Different types of pollination based on the agents. Hydrophilic, anamophilic, entomophilic, malacophilic. Right. Among these various types, which is very rare, that is hydrophilic. Right? Now, second one. How many genera are taken? This pollination is 30 genera, not 30 species. Among these 30 genera, mostly belongs to the monocotyledons. Now come to this next. Right. What is the topic? Hydrophilous flower. That means flowers is present on the water or land. Water. That means aquatic plants. All aquatic plants does not shows. Once again, be careful. All aquatic plants does not shows hydrophyll. One second. All aquatic plants, aquatic flowers flowers of all aquatic plants. Flowers of all aquatic plants does not show hydrophilus. For example, water lily and water hyacinth academia, terror of Bengal, water lily. That name indicate you can imagine where they are from, water. Even though they are aquatic plants, water pollination does not happen because now, for example, right now it is a pond or lake, right? Some plants inside the water, the total root system, everything, right? Because the light will be penetrating. Such are called as submerged plants. Right. The root to stem leaf is inside the water, but flowers are floating on the surface. Is called as floating plants. Another type, half of the flower is inside, the remaining of above the water, that is emergent. Floating, submerged, all are aquatic. But in emergent flower neither inside the water nor surface the water. It is above the water. Due to presence of above the water cannot help in pollination. But even though it is aquatic plant like water lily, water hyacinth. While water lily, water hyacinth does not show as hydrophily even though they are aquatic, because their flowers emerge out above the water surface, right? Generally in this too, right? Pollination by insects or wing, but not water. Okay. Now go to the another character. Vallisneria. It is a one aquatic plant name. Hydrology. This is the freshwater aquatic plants. Freshwater aquatic plants which shows hydrophily. Right. Zoistera, which is called as seagrass. What is the topic? Hydrophily. Hydrophily means if the pollination by water. The water which is present on the surface of earth, two types based on salinity. If the less salts, fresh water, more salts, marine. The marine is nothing seawater. Now what it is? Joyster is a freshwater plant or a marine water. It is a seagrass, it is nothing marine, which shows hydrophyll. Give the example. Marine aquatic plant for hydrophilus means joyster. Even though they shows the hydrophilus, but they are freshwater. Now, but a little bit difference. Right now, I am say here. See. Right. Hydrophilic is a two types. Epihydrophilus, hypohydrophilic, right. See, now name the plant. Vallisneria is terrestrial or aquatic? Aquatic. Amorphous aquatic, freshwater or marine? Freshwater. Now, see, it is a pond. Right. Water. Now, Vallisneria. See, it is Vallisneria plant. Just imagine, it is another Vallisneria plant. Right? Now, it is a female flower. Female flower. What is this? Star, pedicel. Pedicel. The female flower with long pedicel. Hence, the flower reaches the surface. Reach the sun. Now it is a Vallisneria. Now come to the pedicel is short. Now see. Now it is stands. Now male. That male flowers in Vallisneria submerged. Female flowers are floating. Right. When this anther is mature, dehiscence will happen. Pollen grain releases. Right. Now the pollen grain is present in the water. The density of pollen grain is less than the water. What it is? Pollen grains. The density of pollen grain is less than water. Hence, they can float. Right. Through water current, they slowly reach the stigma site. Now, the pollination in the water, note it. That is, in the water means on the surface, in the water, on the surface. Hence, it is called as epihydrophilic. Now come to Joyster. Seagrass. It is quite opposite. Now it is the seawater. See. Now right. It is male flower. This male flower belongs to whom? Joyster. Right. Now it is another Joyster. Now female flower is submerged. That's the point. Right. Joyster. Male flower floating with a long style. Female submerged. Okay. Now, what is this? Anther. This anther, when it is mature, it will be dehiscence. the pollen grain will be released. Now these released pollen grains, where they are present? On the surface. On the surface. The pollen grains which are present on the surface, they go to bottom. Here the pollen grains from bottom to surface based on density. Automatically the pollen grain density is less. Automatically they float. Right. With the help of water current, right, they reach the stigma which is present on the surface. So the pollination, the stigma, the pollen grains deposited on the stigma, that is on the surface of water, in the water, on the surface. Else it is called as epihydrophyll. But it is very interesting. Now see, now it is the which sex? Female. It is male. These both flowers belongs to zoster. Which flower is floating? Which flower is submerged in zoster? Right. Male flower is floating on the surface. Right. After the mature, the anther, there is a pollen grains. See, this pollen grains is a ripple-like structure. Ripple-like structure. Right. Its morphology. External shape is nothing morphology. Its morphology means whom? Pollen grain morphology is helps it swim. The fish can swim with the help of fins from surface to bottom, bottom to surface. Right. This pollen grain. But this pollen grain is not having any locomotive organs. The shape itself is advantage to swim. Now, this is the pollen grains. This is the pollen grains, which is the ripple-like structure, and swim towards the bottom and reach the stigma. Now here, deposited on the stigma, on the surface of water, below the water. Hence, it is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic. Last I decided. Hydrophilic. If the pollination by water is called as hydrophilic. These are the two types. Epihydrophilic, hypoid. If the pollination occurs on the surface, epi. In the water, this decide either epi or hypo, decide by female flowers. If the female flowers are surface, epi. If the female flowers are submerged, hypo. That means in Hydrophilus, the female flower decide the type, either epi or hypo. Last, fine. Vallisneria, example for Vallisneria is example for epihydrophilic. Zoistera is example for hypohydrophilic. But most important, right? The pollen grains of hydrophilus, either epi or hypo, either spherical or ripple, whatever it may be. Pollen grains. Whose pollen grains? Epihydrophilus flower pollen grains. They are covered by miscellaneous sheet. Miscellaneous water resistance. Suppose your legs keep in water 6 to 7 hours continuous, right? The skin is decaying because the water containing bacteria, the bacteria decompose the skin, right? Now, if the pollen grains is always in the water, same thing will happen. The pollen grains will be decomposed. This decomposes, wetting decomposes is prevented by a sheet covering that is called as miscellaneous sheet. The presence of miscellaneous sheet is a character of Hydrophilus flower. Right. If the sheet is absent, right, after minimum duration, right, the surface of the pollen grain will be decomposed. That leads to the death of pollen grain. Even though they have some viability, duration. Before this duration, they can be decomposed. So, it is one of the advantages, presence of miscellaneous sheet is the character of Hydrophilus. Right. Now come to the Entomophilus. Now, we discuss another agent, that is biotic. As among this biotic, insects, if the pollination by insects, Entomophilus, if the pollination takes place by snails, Malacophilus, snail, right. If pollination takes place by bats, Chirapterophil, right. Among these various, now, insects, entomophil, insects, bees, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, and moths. This is all are belongs to insects. Now, abiotic, biotic. Just keep in our mind. Among these biotic, living, entomophily, pollination by insects is called as entomophily, is more remaining other biotic. Among these insects, right, bees, right. Of course, butterfly, flies, beetles is also helps in pollination. But among these insects, the majority of the insects which are involved in Entomophilus means bees. This is the, remember and keep in your mind. Right. Biotic, abiotic. Abiotic, majority, window pollination. Biotic, majority, insects pollination. Among this insect pollination, bees. Right? Now, this is all. Birds. If the pollination by birds, ornithophilia, the study of birds is called as ornithology. Ornithophilia, sunbird, hummingbird. This is the most important two birds which are helps in pollination. Right. Now come to the bees. Right. Now, characters of Entomophilus. The size of the flower must be large because the insect must sit on the flower. Due to this, the flower size must be large. Right. The flowers are colorful and fragrant, smell, odor. This is the two important factors: color of the flower, fragrant nature of the flower attract the insect. Right. Now, the flowers rich with nectar. Right. What is the need of nectar? I can say later. Now, if the flowers are small, 99% flowers are large because the insect is a seed accommodated at the flower. Due to this, generally it is large. But in some cases, if the flowers are small, all small flowers cluster and form inflorescences. Right. Generally, most important. Right. You read this sentence. Generally, flowers of animal pollinated plants. Animal pollinated plants. Flowers of animal plant pollinated plants are specifically adapted for a particular animal. Catch the point? Right. Orchid and bumblebee example. What is this? Orchid. Orchid is a plant name like mango, neem, citrus. Like it is the name. Bumblebees is insect. That means in this plant, this is the plant. In this plant, name the plant orchid. The flower of orchid. The flower of orchid is entomophilous, hydrophilous. Entomophilous. Entomophilous. In this entomophilous, butterfly, bee, now only bumblebees. Other than bumblebees, there is no pollination in orchid. This is written as a character. Generally, flowers of animal pollinated plants are specifically adapted for particular animal. For example, orchid and bumblebee. Without bumblebee, there is no existence of orchid. Right? Because in these flowers of orchid, any insect is not involved, only bumblebee. Right. Now problem. Right. What is this? Floral rewards. Right. If you done any work successfully, you will get some reward, gift. Like, right? It is a insect. If this insect helps in pollination, helps to carry off pollen grain, hence the plant provide some reward. Otherwise, they cannot visit the insects cannot visit the flower. Right. That means plant and insect both are benefited. Hence, it is a mutual symbiotic association. Right. Mutually benefit. What is the benefit of plant? Plant benefit pollination. What is the benefit of insect? They are getting some food. That may be nectar. Last final. Now, insects visit the flower for reward. But in this visiting, the plants benefit pollination. So, plant, insects both are benefited. If the plants cannot give the reward, the insect cannot visit next time. There is no need. Just it is the interaction between flower and insect. In this interaction, both are benefited. Right. That is, the plant is benefited as a pollination. The insect is benefited as a reward. Now, what is this fifth one? Floral rewards. There is no floral rewards in water pollinated plants and wind pollinated plants because they are not living. If any living thing is there, right, they accept, they want something, that is reward. Now, floral rewards. Right. 99% of the floral reward is nectar. Next one, B. A safe place laying egg. Right. Safe place. Now, Amorphous is a plant. It is the plant. Amorphous plant. In this plant, the flower 6 feet. Flower is 6 feet, but not leaf. Largest flower in Amorphous due to presence of largest flower. Right. They provide the place laid eggs. So, right, 99% of floral rewards is nectar. But in some cases, right, the flower provide a safe place to lay eggs. The insects are oviparous. They lay eggs. But before the laying eggs, they search, insects search, what is the safe place to lay the eggs. Right? The flower of Amorphous is a safe place for eggs. That means the insects visit Amorphous for the laying of eggs. In this connection, in this interaction, the plant is undergoes pollination. Like the another example, moth yucca. Now here moth insect, yucca plant. Right. It is the flower of yucca. It is a circle. It is a petal. Right. Now, what is this? Ovary. Locule. Some aperture will be there. Good. The yucca enter into a locule. The locule is nothing ovarian cavity. The cavity of ovary is called as ovarian cavity. Right? In the insect moth, the moth is entering into the locule of yucca and laying eggs. So the moth gets the safest place for its sake. That is, in this visiting, the flower of yucca gets pollination. So, right, Amorphous and arching bumblebee. Right, it is example. Floral reward is the safest place, but not nectar. But majority cases, floral rewards is nectar. Right. Now, this is about the characters of Amorphous. Thank you.